Hey everyone, it's Mona here at Klatch. Today is Friday. That means it's another Coaster Friday. Today we are doing sunshine coasters, and that was the idea that was added to the fishbowl by Brooke Liz. And remember, if you want to add your idea into the fishbowl to see if it gets chosen, remember to add it to the most recent coaster video, and then I'll be able to add it. And stick around to the end because I'll be picking another idea this week. So I'm going to do two versions of the sun coaster, and I'm going to use a variety of pigments, and I'm going to use, that's for one, and I'm going to use just yellow glitter for the other. So let's do the glitter one first. I'm just going to dump a bunch of glitter in here. Okay, I'm going to pour it right on in there. Now for this one I'm going to use yellow pigment powder. Okay, and then I'm going to use just a teeny bit of this red. So it'll be a little bit more of a sunset kind of a color. There. I was going to use a third color, but I think I like just these two together. So that's a pretty color. I'll pour that right in here. Now I'm going to take my lighter, pop bubbles. And then we're going to let this sit a minimum of 12 hours before we come back. Alright, these have cured, so I can unmold them. So now, what I did after I had poured this, I took the excess resin and I experimented a little bit with just regular construction paper. And I put resin on construction paper just to see how it would look. So what I decided to do is I drew a template for a sun, traced it onto some orange construction paper, and now I'm going to place this one on the orange, and I'm going to put this one, I'm going to do the same thing with a yellow piece of construction paper. I'll just trace it and then cut it out with my scissors. You want to try to cut off the pencil markings, and if you don't, it's not that big a deal. Just take an eraser and erase them. Alright, I have the pieces cut out, and I have mixed some more of the Easy Cast resin, and I think another 2 ounces would be plenty fine, and I put it in 2 different cups. I'm going to add pigment powder into one, glitter into the other. I'm actually going to do this yellow, I think, in both, and then I'll add that little bit, tiny bit of red. Now I'm working on parchment paper. And I don't have a brush, any disposable brushes, so I'm just going to kind of pour it on here, just like this, spread it. Okay, I'm spreading it around. I want to make sure it gets to all of the edges and the points. Okay, so once I do that, I am going to flip it over just like this and do the same on the other side. That way we know it is good and covered. Then I'm going to take the resin piece and I'm going to plop it right on there, get it spaced the way I want it to, kind of press it in there so it'll become one. I'm going to do the same thing on the orange. Alright, flip it over, pour some more on there. Now, being on the parchment paper, the part that is touching the parchment paper will be a matte finish. The resin won't stick to the parchment paper. Now what you are going to want to do very carefully, because remember you got paper, it's covered in resin, so it should be okay, but you want to be extra careful. Pop those bubbles with your lighter, but do not set the paper on fire. That's another reason you definitely want to make sure you have it good and covered. Okay, then we're just going to let these sit. I am going to put a clear coat because I have some extra resin just on top. Alright, so we have cured. It's been roughly 12 hours. And I'm going to peel it off so that it's still at the stage where it's still pliable, but it comes right off of the parchment paper. The back is going to be a matte finish, and you might have some bubbles stuck under there, but that doesn't make any difference. I'm going to take an old pair of scissors, and I'm going to just trim it. So right now, being at roughly 12 hours, I can still cut this. And as the resin is curing, what I could have done and maybe should have done is moved some of the resin away, so I would have less to cut. But do not use your good scissors for this, you will be sorry. And you want to cut close to that paper, but you do not want to cut the paper. Now if you wait too long, you're going to not be able to cut it. So here are the coasters up close. Here's the yellow one, and that one is all glittery. And here's the orange one, which had the pigment powders. So that's nice and iridescent. So once they fully cure, these should be nice and stiff. And you'll have these cute coasters. Be sure to let me know what you think of the sun coasters in the comments below, and hang on for a sec. We're going to pick from the fishbowl. Okay. Brandywine 6969 egg coasters. So I'm going to see what I can do with that. If you want your idea in the fishbowl, be sure to add it to the most recent coaster video. That's where I go every week to pick for the next fishbowl. So if you put something in before, it's not in there anymore. You got to add it every week. Thank you guys for sharing my videos, for subscribing, and for being here every week. I appreciate it. Thanks for the thumbs up, and we will see you next time. Happy crafting and stay safe.